excuse me. I wonder if I could have your attention. I know that all of you are still enjoying your delicious meal, and dessert is still being served, but we have such a full program, and we want to respect your time, so I'm asking for you to continue to eat and listen to me for a little bit, and then you'll be done and the real part of the program begins. But I'm Jerry Adelmann, president of Openlands, and it's such a great treat to welcome all of you and to see so many wonderful faces in this room. I mean, for me, this event is sort of frustrating because there's so many friends and colleagues and supporters here, and I'd love to visit with all of you, and of course, in this short period of time, it's impossible. Barely can say hello to a good many, but we really appreciate your wonderful support and being with us here today. You know, this is the 49th anniversary of Openlands as a not-for-profit organization, and we're preparing to celebrate our 50th next year. So we're doing a lot of kind of reflecting, thinking back on our history in anticipation of this kind of milestone anniversary. And as I've reflected, on Openlands' work, there were three really important salient characteristics that were brought home to me. And I'd like to share them with you. One of them has to do with scale. We're a metropolitan conservation group. Our geography is the southern shore of Lake Michigan, more or less the Chicago wilderness region, so parts of 3 states, anchored by the city of Chicago at the heart. And scale also in the sense that we work at all scales, so not just the regional scale. That's the canvas in which it takes place, if you want. This web of green that ties together is so important at all scales. So we work, for instance, with schoolyards, greening and creating school gardens, allotment gardens in Chicago neighborhoods, all the way out to hundreds of acres of lands that are being restored as wetlands and significant natural areas, to looking at entire watersheds like the Kishwaukee that cut through several counties. So again, scale is very important for what we do, working at the big scale and at all the smaller scales together that create the mosaic of wonderful lands that we call Chicago wilderness, that we call home. A second is that we take the long view. And we're here as a regional organization. We're not going away. While our policy work takes us to Springfield and on occasion to Washington, our on-the-ground programs are based right here in this metropolitan region. And for me, one of the best examples from our history about taking the long view is the Medewa National Tallgrass Prairie. Back in the late 1960s, when Openlands was very new, looking at our board minutes, the board said, keep your eye on the Joliet Arsenal, 24,000 acres, the largest piece of publicly held land in this region. Someday that may be closed, and we need to be there to guarantee that most of it is protected as important open space, as an anchor, within our metropolitan area. And finally, in the 1990s, that's what happened. And President Clinton, in 1996, signed legislation that created the Medewa National Tallgrass Prairie, the first of its kind in the country. And I guess the third kind of characteristic that stands out for me is people. That we're always about connecting people to land, to nature, to open spaces where they live. And I guess it's in our DNA. When you go back again to our founding, we were a project of the Welfare Council of Metropolitan Chicago. So again, we're always very concerned about connecting people, improving the quality of life, and for me, that people piece is also related to how we do our work. It's partnerships, it's collaboration. It's working with people to achieve major goals. So this past year has not been different from any other in that it's been extremely rich, some major milestones, in terms of policy and on-the-ground program. I'd love to share all of them with you. It's impossible. I guess go to our website and you can see kind of the breadth of activity that's taken place. But I do want to showcase one major important milestone that I think in some ways embodies this three-part methodology, and that is Hackmatack, the first national wildlife refuge in the metropolitan region, actually in this mega region of Milwaukee and Chicago. First of all, scale. It's 2 states. There's 8,000 acres that are presently protected, but the possibility of an additional 11,000 acres, a mosaic of land, public and private, that would be connected through a trail system. It's really extraordinary. Long view. It all started at a kitchen table with some local advocates over 8 years ago. And it took that long to make it happen. And people also, that this is for the people of our region. Over 11 million people live within an hour-and-a-half drive. So what a great new resource for this wonderful area that we call home. And people, because it's the people who made it happen. And it's been an extraordinary partnership and collaboration. Our governor, Governor Quinn, from the very beginning recognized the importance of this and was there with full support, designating Mark Miller, who's with us today, head of IDNR, to provide leadership, and they were there from the beginning. As was Senator Durbin, extraordinary support from the start. And he brought with him many members of the Illinois delegation, including Senator Kirk, who has also provided great support. So it's been bipartisan. The McHenry County Conservation District that owns much of that land that provides anchors has been fantastic to work with. Elizabeth Kessler, the director, is with us today, and again, they continue to play an important role as this grand vision is implemented. And then with Openlands, there have been 2 key kind of not-for-profit partners, the Trust for Public Land, that especially worked with us on the national level, and the Sierra Club. But possibly what's most important is that incredible base of support that Friends of Hackmatack provided. Now, this is a coalition of concerned citizens and advocates and organizations from Wisconsin and Illinois who, throughout the whole process, have been there advocating, educating, making sure that it happened. And I guess I'd also have to mention so many of you, because many of you wrote letters, sent emails, came to meetings, supported this important effort, even if you didn't live in the region. But you knew that it was so important for our broad metro area to have this extraordinary new resource. So we thank all of you for your incredible leadership and support. What I'd like to do is, with my time, is to share another video. And this came from WTTW Chicago Tonight. It aired September 11th. And I think it really captures, in many ways, the beauty of this land and the power of the vision. Our own Lenore Bayer-Clow, our policy director, who plays such a wonderful leadership role, is one of the stars in the video. And so let's see that for a few minutes. Well, I think this video captures what a special place Hackmatack is. I hope all of you will go visit it, and as importantly, watch it over time, because project by project, it will happen. It's a work in progress. But this designation is so important and so powerful. There are so many partners. We know that the dream, the vision will be realized. Well, we're about now to go to the heart of our program, and that is the presentation of our Conservation Leadership Award for 2012 and for our guest speaker. And both of the individuals are global leaders in design, community building, and environmental sustainability. I think you're going to hear echoes of our themes of scale, of taking the long view, of having a vision, and of working with people to improve people's lives. And we're really delighted today to have a very special person to present our Conservation Leadership Award, and that is Jeannie Gang. Jeannie is one of Chicago's most innovative architects, and you know, we're home to a lot of global superstars here in Chicago. Jeannie is one of the brightest and newest. She's the founder and principal of Studio Gang Architects. Last year, she was awarded the prestigious MacArthur Fellowship. We all know her Aqua Tower and have come to love it. This 82-story building, mixed use, so innovative. It's the largest building designed by a woman in the world and has become, you know, world known and celebrated. Jeannie's work is not just in Chicago. She's done work in India and China and Taiwan and elsewhere. Of course, from our point of view, we especially love the work that she did at Northerly Island for the framework plan that we're going to see implemented, you know, over the next number of years under the leadership of the Chicago Park District. And the Nature Boardwalk at Lincoln Park Zoo is another one of her significant accomplishments, you know, respecting the wonderful nature that we have and making it accessible to people, which again is what Openlands is really about. Her work has been exhibited at the Biennale in Venice, MoMA, the National Building Museum, and right here in Chicago now at the Art Institute. So be sure to see Building Inside Studio Gang Architects, which is a wonderful exhibit that's there through February 24th, and it really allows the public to understand the design process. So please join me in welcoming Jeannie Gang to give out our Conservation Leadership Award.